Alright, next step.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this sound coming from? Excuse me. No, I don't hear it over here. No, it must be coming from inside the building. There's such a ruckus inside. I can hear it. I'm not used to hearing a ruckus or people and so on. Well, now I'm here and I don't hear anything. It's a mystery. It's still mysterious. Did I recruit new allies? How much time do I have? Enough, but not very long. Blah. Let's talk about my army. What special allies do I have? Knights of the Crucible reinforce your infantry. Several crag ogres from the Flames That Whisper clan will join your infantry. Hey! That's not what I thought was going to happen, though. Or, I don't remember. I don't remember. I guess I just kind of assumed the people of Stalwart or something related to that would be what helped me. But I actually don't remember the specifics of why I went to the White March. I just remember that it was suggested that that was a potential source of allies for this mission. And I guess crag ogres helping would be helpful. Sure, it's unfortunate that I killed them all. I killed the shit out of all of them, and there's just a room of like 5 of them left practically. And I guess whoever was out on hunts or wasn't home at the time. But I guess we're just gonna not acknowledge that in the story for as long as possible. It's a weird feel. It's a real weird feel. Alright, slaver guy. Go away. At last. I'm glad you're here, my lord. My name is Solmar. I have a matter of some importance to discuss, if you have the time. Let's hear it. You gesture for your allies to join you, and you take your place upon the throne. I'm back. I'll cut to the meat of it. I have a dozen Orlan slaves in port in Girara. Good, healthy stock that will fetch a fine price in Ixamatl, if I can get the ship up the coast. That's the, tricky part. I haven't got the coin to stock a ship for the whole journey, not without docking at a Deerwood port along the way, and run the risk of having my goods seized. Really, these Deerwood laws are completely impractical for any honest merchant traveling outside of Defiance Bay. I hoped you could be of some assistance. You're not originally from the Deerford, I hear. Surely you understand. Can't just arrest him? These are weird, vague things. You should continue up the coast, or I'll help you sell them, or I can't help you. But not like, there's no reaction to the slave part at all. I take a moment to discuss this with my people. Of course, of course. Solmar inclines his head politely and steps out of earshot. Ooh, there it is. Here, Irvis, I want you to head down to Girara and see if you can free those slaves. I would love to. Gives me something to do with my hands while I plot this man's painful death. Irvis will be busy for 5 days. Motion for your guest to return. Okay. This makes more sense. So here's the reaction to the slave thing. I was wondering, like, what the fuck? So it basically comes down to, do I want to outright kill him or just free his slaves? I wonder if Hiravis will just end up killing him regardless, based on what he said. He really misjudged the room here. Still, I think the deception is enough. One issue is he comes from a society where he's infinitely replaced by more people like him. So, mostly I would just be suffering the consequences of reputation of being the kind of person who murders people that come to my place. So, I need some time to look into the matter. Return to Gurara and I will send word. Of course, I appreciate you taking the time. I'll await your letter. Pleased, Solmar bows slightly and turns to stride from the hall. He will return home to find that he doesn't have any slaves. Funny moment for him.
It seems your fame is spreading. I have heard travelers speaking of your accomplishments in Defiance Bay.
If you'll forgive me saying so, it is a relief to find the keep in the command of someone more connected to the world. It's so easy to let things fall by the wayside. What is the state of the keep? Word of Kadnua is spreading far and wide. I expect we'll be receiving visitors from every corner of the world soon. I can't tell you how wonderful it is, seeing this place restored to its original grandeur. Thank you, my lord. This keep only reflects what you have done for us, a monument, if you will. I've kept you too long, haven't I? I'll give you my report. And of course, it's just the menu we always have access to anyway. Good luck, Hiravis. Hope you make a mess of things. We're currently building something, right? Yeah. Let's swap out my party members. We're about to go down, down, down into the keep. So, in particular, I don't need to have so many melee characters. So I was partly leaning so heavily into them for the sake of that expansion. But I want to bring Kana along because this is his storyline, is delving down under Kadnua. Tempted to bring Pallegina back, but Manea is also really good. I don't know. Could even be a little interesting if we lean so heavily that we don't even have... this is a strange setup for a party. Kind of want to experiment with different formats a little bit though. But like, yeah, what if we took Durance out of the party for once? That'd be something different. Because I talk a lot about how as a healer, or as a priest character, I don't necessarily use him for healing as much as I would have expected. So how interesting might it be to just not have him in the party and see what happens when I try a different comp entirely? Let's see. But also, I just wanted to bring Pallegina back to some extent. What? Why?
Yes?
How did that happen? Kana doesn't have any chance at all. This is the... yeah, faster reload speed and range attack speed. So good for buffing the rogue in the party now. Part of the hope. How far behind in level are these characters now? 6th level. Jesus. It creeps up on you. Yeah, Pallegina's now 3 levels behind. It's just a lot of fucking party members. Hey, I got my first deceptive point, probably. I might have already had that. Kind of all over the place. I'm benevolent, clever, stoic, aggressive, diplomatic, passionate, rational, honest, and deceptive. Ah. Those are a lot of clear-headed and nice traits, for the most part. Benevolent, clever, stoic, diplomatic, passionate, rational, and honest. Alright. But then, yeah, 1 point of aggressive, 1 point of deceptive. I wonder what aggressive came from. It's been a long game. Alright, time to spend some time exhaustively trying to upgrade these new characters. Not new characters, but I have 4 to 5 levels to deal with you. I've been getting the survival kick for people lately. Low, their endless host. Frighten enemies, but he's a ranged enemy. He's a ranged unit. Decreases duration and defends against frightened and terrified. Huh. I'm kind of going for ones against. I mean, I guess that one's kind of useful. He's the ranged guy, so he's not usually surrounded by enemies, is the idea. So I guess just a friendly buff might come in handy. So there's the paralyze effect that I was using as Yeskier. There's the will-o-wisps. Enemy terrified. Reduced crowd control. The enemy charm. Two bouncing beams of pure light that restore endurance and grant immunity to frightened and terrified when all allies struck. .46-meter range. And he's in the back line, so it kind of fits better. But I also specifically kind of build this guy as being not Yaskier. Part of my goal. Before I commit, I should check his gun. And also whether or not this is better. Chanter, Cypher, Ranger. So he can have Stormcaller if he wants to. Especially if I haven't picked a gun talent yet. Gallant's Focus. I gave him the accuracy bonus. Which is, if he's in the backline with other ranged people, could be nice. I mean, that's good for everybody, basically, but yeah. Wow. He has a surprisingly short thing. Those are his talents, so he doesn't have a gun talent yet. So he could be Stormcaller. It does bind with Chanters. That's more interesting than... Oh my god, he has a regular Arquebus. It's not even enchanted or anything. Like, it's just a regular-ass item. Man. How left behind some characters get, huh? You could use this to knock down somebody that attacks him, I suppose. That's still gotta hold on to that for the focus character. Palagina, I was considering... Oh, yeah, you're dual-wielding? Man, I have a bad memory for what my characters are doing. Deep Faith. You don't have to be dual-wielding, though. Yeah, I don't have a dual-wielding talent on this character. So I can still give them this Paladin sword. That seems really cool. That seems exciting. I'll leave those in your off weapons, why not? Bind Soul. Do 200 damage to spirits, or 1000 damage to enemies to unlock the next level. 10% spell damage. It occurs to me that that might apply to this guy's... Let's see. That probably applies to his chance. He's doing AoE damage to everybody around him all the time. Whereas, do you have dex? You don't have any dex. So you can have this bonus dex from these bracelets. There we go. This is still a Cypher item, so we gotta save that for a bit. Oh god, I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to change those weapons and I forgot to check. I don't find it easy to compare weapons. They don't necessarily get progressively better than each other as you get further into the game. They kind of just get different specializations, more so than anything. The only way that they get linearly better is the fine, exceptional, and so on, but you can just make anything that. There's so many items. Only rogues and priests. Both characters I wouldn't want to have in melee. She could be in melee. It's nothing wrong with that with a melee rogue. It's just I don't see myself necessarily making my rogue or my priest melee in this particular run, but I guess I'll just bind it to her because those are literally the only options, so she'll use it if she uses it, or she won't use it if she doesn't use it. But the alternative is to give it to Durance, and I don't really see that happening either, so it might as well be in her melee slot, even though I don't really use the whole weapon switching mechanics very much. I'm usually just kind of going. Anyway, so now we've now bound a bow to him, so I can probably give him commit to bow-related talents, because this is the kind of long-term skill that I might stick with just for good. This is the bouncy heal, right? Yeah. Okay, so back to where we left off. A sneak attack. Wow. Such a weak sneak attack compared to my rogue that has like 175% version of it at this point, or something crazy like that. Marksman. This is the slower but with DR bypass one. Now let's look for... Ah, shit. I have to know the exact type of bow, because I think there's like 2 or 3 types of bows. Hunting bow. War bow. Crossbow. So you can see how I get confused here. Hunting bow. Peasant. We're still trying to get to rank 7, so you can get the extra DR. Rank 3 phrases. Allies get burning weapons. Not the worst thing to be giving to my rogue, for example, in the back line. He's not the best person to give the burn effect to, because he shouldn't be in that range. I think I'm going to go for this fire one. I missed having two chanters around. It's kind of a neat thing to have. Empowers allies in the area of effect with bonuses to might, constitution, and resolve. There's +5 of each. Big scary thing. Bonus to dexterity, perception, and intellect. The big explosion of ice. Oh. I do feel like it's just a really good thing for the Chanter to have the access to an AoE res if possible. Pretty tempting. So then if a big fight goes bad, I now have a resurrection from Pallegina and Jaskier and this guy's name. Kana. There we go. A lot of names. We have our weapon focus. Crossbows, arbalists, and firearms. So yeah, that doesn't apply to bows. I think they just shoot, basically. I'm hopefully getting better at remembering all of these skills over time. And having a better idea of what I might want to pick next. Because I am going the same talent tree over and over again. Oh, we could go for marksman. I don't know what distant enemies is the problem. I wish I knew what distant meant. Like, why not just say how far away they have to be? It would take like the same amount of space. Like, enemies 5 meters away or something. I've gotten heavy on athletics with you. I really might as well give everyone the extra DR. Paladin abilities. Alright, so we have everyone nearby. +7 to all defenses whenever the paladin downs an enemy. Bonus accuracy on allies. Cannot be active over other zealous auras. I gotta remind myself, but I'm pretty sure I already have a zealous aura, right? Gallant's focus. An aura with similar properties to zealous focus. But not the same? Doesn't say anything about not being able to be active at the same time as somebody else's. Can I have another accuracy aura on at the same time? Oh. That's kinda... Whoops. There's zealous endurance. So I was giving her the DR one. Gotcha. So he's got the other... He's got the other aura active on top of being a chanter.
Yeah.
I feel a little bad I haven't done that with Yaskier yet. Gotten him the paladin aura, just because then he'd have that in another passive effect going around him constantly. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Just games where I can just stack a bunch of bizarre effects on my character at once. So we already have the other zealous effect. Come on. So an ally loses their negative effects. Move speed. Mark one enemy to be the one that takes a bunch of damage, but only from you. Good for a boss fight. Deprive the unworthy. Remove positive effects from enemies. This is the passive that makes it harder to charm, dominate, confuse me. They get -20 accuracy. And then people who... Oh, right. Then she gains the ability to remove charm and so on from other people, and she does minimum damage against them. So she's able to knock people out of it. That's such a good ability, actually. An ally gains deflection. Twice per encounter is pretty good, too. Such a powerful character. I feel like I've got to go for the Aegis of Loyalty. No, because that is one of the biggest things we saw during White March, was a bunch of crowd control abilities. And yeah, Charm, Dominate, Confuse, things that make it so you can't control your character anymore for a while. So it's harder to do that to her, and then she can go whack somebody to knock them out of it, so we can start picking the party back together. Intense Flames. A plus 25% damage as burn in the Flames of Devotion effect. Tempting. But also might want to commit to the two-handed style that just gives me 15% damage just in general. Now that I've found a favorite weapon to stick to. Oh, there we go. So they ended up as what level? 10 and 10. And we're that far into 11 at this point. So there's a gap. When you leave people behind, you do lose some progress there. But that's inevitable with the sheer number of characters we currently have. I don't see much other outcome happening. So you have room for rings, and you have room for rings, you have room for bracers. I don't have any... No, I do. Reaccuracy, 5 deflection, 2 dexterity, 1 perception. Deflection, resolve. I don't think I get to stack more deflection. I go for accuracy. Boots of Zealous Command. Zealous Aura effect plus 20%. That's way better than 2 reflex. There we go. So now her aura is bigger. That's good. I don't have a lot of passive rings flying around. Right. You've also got one of the special belts. We have so many of those like legacy, soulbound, whatever you want to call them, items where you have like a whole upgrade tree to make your way through. That I've actually, at this point, I can't keep track of who has them and where they are. Like, that's just the reality of the situation at this point. Alright. Now, we're gonna go start making more progress down that giant-ass dungeon, because I've been neglecting it for too long. Admittedly, I've been neglecting it for too long is how I feel about 80% of this game's features, because you get so spread thin between the sheer number of just different things happening. Oh, the dungeons. Uh-oh. Did somebody die? We have a jailer now? Oh. Spider leg. Weird.
Gods keep you.
Greetings, my lord. I'm here to maintain the cells for you. Should you take any prisoners in your travels, I will make sure that they are attended to as you see fit. Do you have any instructions for me? What do you want done with these prisoners? You want them all flogged regularly? I don't need anything at the moment. We only have one prisoner, right? The wall is scratched with an almost illegible string of profanities. That's probably the guy that escaped. That was really unfortunate. Let's take this guy as prisoner. Instantly escapes that day. Oh. Okay. There's Aleph. Can you talk to him? You can't seriously mean to lock me up. I mean, you didn't seem that surprised when I did it. Seemed like it was like what you expected, basically, because you killed somebody. I figure we're overdue for me to make some progress down this thing. I might even be able to beat it for all I know. We're getting pretty high level. I think level 12-ish might have been the level cap the first time around. Crazy as that sounds. I think that might have been the level cap before they added expansions. So, we are leveling. Right, I need to set up Kana's chance.
Following your lead.
He doesn't have any, apparently. The move speed one. Yeah, he doesn't need the negative aura. Reload speed and attack speed is good for his local friends. Defense against frightened. Burn. I do kind of like the idea of this loop. Just a pure aggression one of going back and forth between these two options. Call this one Raining Fire. Which is not that different from the other one, honestly.
Huh?
Which is my Rage Ball. I decided to name it. A lot of enemy attacking going on. Not a lot of ally helping going on. Although, you know, good defense is strong offense or whatever the fuck and blah blah blah. If I do 1 billion trillion damage to them, then they can't do anything back. That's admittedly been what's been very helpful with some of these party compositions, is some of these fights just end instantly. What?
Keeps coming along nicely.
Where the fuck am I? What do you mean party management? Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the... So this is where I was supposed to go. Okay, level 3. It will take you 2 hours. I I'm so removed that I don't know how to get where I'm trying to go. I guess now I do. Apparently that's this one random fucking storm cellar entrance, like tornado shelter door is apparently where I go to get to the fast travel screen, because I knew there was a map, but I'm like, where is it? I got to the point where I was already in Cadnua and it still hadn't shown me the map for traveling around Cadnua or Oddnua. So I was a little confused. I'll try to get a loop going maybe where I defeat a floor and then I talk to an NPC and see if they have new dialogue. And try to make our progress that way. This is an old dear horror story about a haunted dinner party. Oh, I'm looking forward to looking into this again. I liked these areas. I liked that each floor clearly had its own internal story and like a subplot of some kind. I was worried it was just going to be an enemy gauntlet, and spamming combat's not the most interesting thing in a CRPG to me. So it was cool to find out that each little floor had its own story and subculture or something going on. Like these people are doing sacrifices just to try to stave off some kind of strange rot. Oh god, we're still doing fights. The order makes no sense to me. I just realized. I'm like, none of these characters are in the order that they sort of should be, although my brain doesn't... Oh god, that also rearranges them there. Like, I really want you two together because your chants will be next to each other. Even though usually it goes melee, 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 range, range, ranged. But I want the chanters next to each other so I can keep track of their totals. Oh god. I can do this. No, that's wrong. That's... Wait, what the fuck is happening? Okay, it glitched out. I'm not crazy. There was 2 Edairs. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean there's 2 Edairs? I think it's because I switched these characters around while the menu was open. So I think I bugged the whole thing out a little bit. There we go. Okay, and let's just go ahead and open it again real quick. I could have done this outside of combat, obviously. Okay, don't get mad at me, but I just forgot where that menu is even kept. Oh, here it is. My bad. Yeah, that looks good.
I'm ready.
See, I'm not expecting these guys to put a bunch of a fight, to be honest. Maneha, help. You already have the worm spell. Maybe this is the time for that, because we're getting attacked. A bit of crowd control back there might help, in the form of extra people running around. There we go. Kanea's gonna be better off now. I just called him Kaneha. We have Kana and Maneha, and I'm just losing my mind. All the names are getting crossed in my brain until nothing is left. Is your AI turned on? Auto attack, aggressive. No, I like casting my chance myself.
Sure.
Hi there. He's not going to do very well because he's alone. I'll probably start off by kind of rushing combat and kind of auto-attacking and being in fast mode for a bit, just because I think we might be over-leveled for these couple of floors. So until I... Ah! Whoa, what did I just do? Until I get a little bit of pushback, I'm going to try to burn through it a little bit. Which means I'm going to run directly into a trap somewhere, because I'm running through. Do I have that? Auto pause. Hidden object found. Character hit. When an attack against a party member is completed. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, how much time do you have? That is a lot. That is a lot to do. There's auto slow. Honestly, that's kind of cool. There's a certain number of enemies just automatically slow down combat to make it a little more reasonable to follow. Or here's combat time, which is that it just auto pauses every like 2 seconds. That's a lot of seconds. I'm curious about what kind of person is like, I want to auto pause every 14.5 seconds, and that's when I give new orders. Anything less than that, nothing. Like most fights aren't 14 seconds long. Yeah, I don't think there's a... Yeah, hidden object or trap. I guess I'll have to do that one. That's the one thing, is that when a party member detects a trap, if I'm running around, I'll run directly into the trap anyway. So, I just need to activate auto pause, and then we're good to go. But why is it in slow mode? Maybe that's a bad idea for a setting. I thought that there would be more people in the fight.
Keeping quiet.
It might just be that it counts all of these enemies that are in the area as being as all adding to that situation. Oh god. Yeah, here it comes. Okay. Hey Maneha, you're a good person to bring over here and deal with this problem a little bit. Just need a little distraction, kind of covered in bad. Are you not set to... What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna check everybody's things. So I'm pretty sure I set all you motherfuckers to being... to being aggressive. So you pick a new target every time you take every time your current target dies. That's my goal, is I want you guys to keep fighting and not waste time. Because waiting for me to spot the fact that you're in dot mode is just asking for less efficiency in combat. They keep resetting. I think it's whenever you leave the party and rejoin the party, they may have fucked up and changed everything again each time. I think that's the constant threat, essentially. Wow, you guys are all able to get into melee range. Neat. I'm gonna let Kana take a back seat now. Okay, come on. Get that fight on. There we go. Barely injured, you say? That's going to change quickly. Okay. Not a fan. It auto slows when there's like one enemy in the entire fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem entirely worth it, if you ask me. Oh, that's a passageway. And so is that.
Laying low.
Hi. You're going to die. Yeah. Yeah. You really don't want to be the troll that I find just wandering around.
Oh, and if I find something good, you can have half.
Ooh. Ah. That wraps around to where we started. I like Maneha's stealth dialogue, except none of it reflects the actual context of why she's stealthing, because I'm never using her to infiltrate or steal. I'm just using stealth to close the gap on enemies more, mainly so that my ranged line and people like that can be more capable of attacking, but also so my melee characters can be closer when the fight starts, potentially cutting down on ranged attacks that interrupt them, like, or in some cases even paralyze them. But she's all like, good thing I sold all my jewelry, or you can have half the loot. It's like, you're not stealing. That's not the adventure we're going on today. You are supposed to use Flames of Devotion. A lot of heals that I admittedly don't really have that many of at the moment. I've focused on some of the more offensive attacks, abilities she has. Whoopsie! Lost track of that bug in the middle of that crowd. There we go. Resolution. It's been alleged that the Saber resolution can be traced back to an ancient line of warriors predating the formation of the Adir Empire, though the legitimacy of the claim has always been in dispute. What is known is that the Saber has been passed down through generations of Yenwood Earls having accompanied them across the sea during the colonization of the Deerwood. The saber was held as a symbol of their noble lineage, and most formal portraits of the family include the blade in some respect. It was the youngest of the line who endeavored to report the weapon so that it might serve more than ornamental purpose. Repair the weapon. The blade was reforged into a weapon that struck very hard and true, and the young Earl wielded it during his efforts to reclaim the keep of Cadnua, traditional stronghold of the Earl of Yenwood. Both sword and bearer were lost, never to be seen again. Several missions were undertaken to retrieve the weapon when the War of Defiance arose, but none met with any success. Any cool effects? It's fine. 20% of grazes become hits. That's usually on a flails or something, so that's kind of nice to have on a sword. 20% damage. Yeah. Not a bad one. A lot of the uniques you find are like situational, really specific buffs and things on them, but that one in particular just straight up like it just has a bunch of effects that'll make it do more damage. And it's more damage in all cases. Unless you're resistant to that specific weapon type, I guess. But it's not like specifically like, this one makes you more resistant to poison, and otherwise it's just a regular weapon if you're not fighting poison enemies. Or whatever. So I'll put it in my pile of one-handed weapons for Maneha to at some point consider. Another one. This massive face appears to have somehow been shaped out of living Aedra. Each ridge is smooth and straight.
Incredible. Solid Audra, hewn like marble. No, not carved. Shaped.
Yeah. We're slowly uncovering more of this giant creature. Not creature. But the, where's the master below? There we go. There we go. Deep within the caverns of the endless paths, I found a great sculpture of a head made of Audra. The face did not resemble any historical figure I'm aware of, but the craftsmanship was beyond anything I'd ever seen. Could this face be a depiction of the master below my steward spoke of? There appears to be a massive statue. Like, there was a hand on one of the first floors. I'm sure that we're going to realize that this is all one continuous statue that goes from floor to floor, which is freaky. It's absolutely huge.
Keeping quiet.
I'm still really amused by the fact that my dragon fire chant actually conjures flaming dragons everywhere. Ah, I didn't mean to disengage. I was just trying to click on him. It was hard. This would be a fun time to try this thing out. Boing! Whoa. Neat. Ooh. We've already... Wow, we've already dealt 1,000 damage with this character? That was fast. Wow. So now it's even stronger because she does kick-ass damage. Now it's exceptional. Grants holy power. A friendly aura 3 times per rest. Next up, we need to kill 110 vessels or 50 enemies. It's probably gonna be 50 enemies, knowing our luck. I don't really see a lot of vessels around. Maybe the next floor will be all vessels, though. Yeah, honestly, the current party seems to be doing just fine without Durance. But that's maybe because of the level of the enemies and not because of their power individually. On the next floor. Of course, we gotta poke around and find everything we can. It is important. We must do maximum killings. And if we're lucky, on the way, we'll get ourselves a bunch of, oop, hello. Get a bunch of killing, and then get a bunch of loot as a result. And then we'll probably be able to afford every future upgrade that Cadnua ever will need. And then we can go bribe politicians and reshape the world and, you know, become the mayor of Defiance Bay. Okay, Edar. It's okay. Oh, it's Maneha. You can just pick a new target, it's fine. The AoE will hit that guy, because you have AoE attacks. Isn't this fun? One of the reasons I love per encounter abilities is that people like Pallegina can whip out a crazy flame sword attack every single time. That makes these little rapid fire fights all the more painless, because various characters in my party have abilities that they can kind of auto activate.
You gotta see this.
Try not to die. There you go. The Bloodstone Overseer seal. The seal appears to be of Engwithan origin, formed of a circular piece of white adra shaped around a bloodstone gem. On the back is an engraving of a sword. Quest. Expedition log page. This appears to be a page torn from some larger text. My journal is molting pages. I do not know if any part of my account will survive this expedition. We thought Saida lost alongside Edriga, but she has returned, carrying a strange seal and a smirk on her face despite her injuries. She is badly wounded, and Merrick is tending to her. I have been researching the seal in the meantime. It is of an intricate design, made of edges shaped around a small bloodstone gem. It seems one of our predecessors was attempting to translate some of the inscriptions in these ruins. According to his text, these seals were carried by 3 Engwithan overseers, all bearing titles: the Guardian, the Builder, and the Scribe. This one seems to have belonged to the Guardian, who was charged with defending these ruins with incursions from dangerous beasts. I'll have to admit I don't believe he did a very good job of that. Yeah, I'm going to have to side with you there. So Guardian, Builder, and Scribe, we found the Guardian. So we need to find the Builder and Scribe ones, because they likely open something. Either on this floor or a future one. Most of these books are blackened and crumbling, having succumbed to mold and rot. What legible writing remains appears to be Eld Adirin. Ah, we're actually going to be done soon. Oopsie. Everybody get into your formation. Rogues in the back. Just the responsible thing to do. You, do a shooty on something. There we go. Yeah, based on how much this floor is explored, I'm gonna guess that what I'm looking for is probably on the future floors. That's a decapitated person. Persistence. Alright. Raises become hits. 25% of damage inflicted over time. Pass down through an a Newtonic tribe, this bow was believed to have been blessed by the gods. For every huntress to wield it always returned from the hunt, having successfully downed at least one animal. Arrows fired from the bow, it was said, would find their way unfailingly to the vulnerable point and fell their target. Rather than allow the bow to be possessed by a single person, the tribe considered it a gift to be shared among all its members. One young tribeswoman, however, coveted the bow and its power, believing she might rule her own tribe if she one day had the weapon for herself. One day, when given use of persistence for the day's hunt, she endeavored to separate herself from her fellow hunters and left, taking the bow with her. And then she died. She was dead forever. The end. Ah! Ow. That was the primary ouch of this floor. There we go. Let's haul ass. Oops, I paused. There we go. Yeah. Some fast mode and AI-driven combat definitely helps a bit. It'll help us at least get caught up to the more challenging floors more quickly. Or so is the idea. We got Deepa. Ah, the Zarups are back. Wow, they're all... Oh god, okay, we're already fighting. Okay, you got spotted by... I thought you got spotted by that guy, but you wanted to attack that... Okay, whatever. One tank and one DPS per direction. We'll figure this out. Okay. There's a lot of enemies in all directions at the moment. We'll have it though. We're good. Oh yeah. They're not very durable usually. Okay. Deal with this guy because he's trying to pick us off from the distance. You're gonna have a bad time. Yep, the fight still ended fast enough that we only reached level 3 chant right at the end. But it's always intimidating though when that many enemies just come pouring in when you aren't expecting them, even though that usually means they're not that strong. I definitely think back to that time with the spiders, where the spiders just came. They were just, the spiders are a-coming.
Yes?
Looks like there's a clear sky over Heritage Hill. I hope the district can recover. There's a lot of history there, even more so now that you've saved it. Maybe they'll give you a plaque. Actually, this really might do a little something for your reputation. It can't hurt to be known for ending a curse. How are you holding up? I'm ready if you are, Kana grins. What is the sacred book you're looking for?
The Tanvi Oratoa. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it set down in stone. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to aspire to. The, model of a virtuous citizen of Rawatai.
Well, look for it out here.
There have been arguments as to the chant's true interpretation. New translations even. But any rendition of it I find in the ruins of Engwith will predate those translations by 2,000 years. And finding it here also proves that we still have much to gain from trading with other cultures. I'd be lying if I said I'm not looking forward to seeing the look on everyone's faces when I get back. But in the long term, I just think that we can learn a lot from the Engwithians. A civilization like that is something to aspire to. A model for Rawatai as a whole, and not just its people. And I want to prove that all of this is worthwhile. Traveling, seeing the world for what it is. It's been so different from sitting in the Chanter Hall and studying books.
You came all this way just to win an argument.
More or less. It wasn't a popular theory when I suggested it. The idea that we shared the Tanvi Oratoha with some older culture, doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't help that my family is from the Deadfire Islands. If I had a copper pond for every chanter who suggested that it's just not in my nature to conquer. My siblings, my parents, they make up for it. They build walls and cannons and ships. I've tried to explain. It isn't that I think those things aren't necessary. But if Rauatai closes itself off from trade, turns on its own people over tradition, we will fall behind. And then we'll be the ones getting conquered. I think my father tries to understand at least.
Won't have crumbled away by now.
Much of Ingwith's writing is lost to us, but an engraving would survive. I found several tablets at the site in Examitol. The scholar Gabranos, in particular, seems to have been fond of writing on the walls. I may have to ask you to help me carry it, if it's a large stone.
So, describe this virtuous citizen.
Dutiful, learned, honest. The sticking point is loyal. Loyal to the people of Rauatai, above all others. Fearless in their defense, and bold in aspiration. Tireless in battle or industry. An inspiration to one's people. But it seems it's not that far a leap from there to the idea that we must cast out foreign influences.
Is that what you aspire to be?
Doesn't everyone want to be a good citizen?
Kind of looks away. What's the suggestion with that gesture? You think Engwithans were the true authors?
I don't know that the distinction is necessarily important. Rauatai has a long history, and our people have come from many different places. It matters less who wrote it than that I have found pieces of the verses all around the world. Wherever it came from, it will be Rauatai that decides what becomes of it. All the races and peoples of our kingdom coming together to create a great empire. You see, then, that I am loyal in my way.
I don't want to pick sounds boring. It's floating there as being unexhausted, but I'm like, no, we're both explorers. We're here to find the answers and search for our own particular desires and so on, and blah blah blah, and unearth ancient relics from the before that have been lost to time. And ooh, they're all densely packed together. They're so AoE friendly. They're all gonna be covered in dragons. All of them. So many dragons. Yep. Getting a lot of clicking noises today. Endless clicking. The way that they articulate. That's a spooky vial.
Whoop. You gotta see this.
Thank you, pause. Oh god. Okay. Wow. Expedition log page. This appears to have been a page torn from some larger text. Said did not make it. I know Merrick tried his best. No point in turning back now. That's what Merrick is saying. I think the point is leaving these ruins alive. We have lost half of our people already, and I'm not sure how we are meant to survive this place, especially with Seda gone. The gods were kind to let us find that study and the books there. Those tomes would fetch a good price in and of themselves. We don't need to go any further. But that seal has stirred his blood. He sure will find mooring within relics below. Every step takes us further from a guaranteed haul and deeper into unknown territory. I don't know what madness has gripped him. Cannot stop thinking about Edriga. The way she screamed.